Hello, welcome to the studio. I am Karen McCoy, and today in the studio we're going to have some fun. I am going to show you a couple things, but we're going to hang out here and wait for a couple of people, well, more than a couple of people, to pop on. Let me get my boxes together because y'all know when I come on, I have to make sure everything is closed, put on do not disturb, pull up chat so that way I can make sure that I get chat box and have it big enough so I can see without having to put my glasses on. So in the studio today, we are going to talk about kind of, I guess you can say, things aside from death of a loved one, because sometimes people, when I'm talking about grief, I'm talking about it from the perspective of me, myself, having lost two children and a granddaughter, and how I've navigated through that. But some people don't, they haven't lost a loved one. However, they have lost something. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, let's get so we can get comments. We want to be able to get comments. We want to be able to like the video, boop the video, as they say. We just started it. I'm looking. Hey, if y'all are looking at this and you're watching the replay or you're in the chat, tell me if you're using that DJI or DJ One Pocket. Tell me about that. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. All right. So grief beyond death, understanding life's other losses. That kind of sounds a little weird, huh? But you have to think about grief in another vernacular. How does that work for you? All right, let's go. Let's go. Hello, Dawn. I got Dawn in the house. Let me see. Oh, I get to see the delay. So there is a delay on my chat box. I was trying to see why does it take so long. So I have my other actual chat up, and then hi, Sonia. I put an alarm on my phone. Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, now it seems like it's caught up. So maybe my country internet is going to do better. So I'll put this down. I'm not going to rely on both. Not going to do that. But it's grief beyond death, understanding that in life there are other losses. So I kind of wanted to put that out there because my channel is centered around my growth and my living life after the loss of my two children. And as I've been navigating, it's been 5 years after my son's death, and now it's been, oh Lord, it'll be 18 years this year after Tanika and Alyssa's death. And so a lot of the strategies and a lot of the things that I've done in my life, I have life after divorce, I have, life after children. I'm an empty nester. So grief, we grieve things in a whole plethora of things. And that's what I want to, pop out here as we're going to be doing some things on the desk. I'm going to wait a few minutes and give a little bit of time. I like to hang around here and give a little FaceTime so that y'all get a little FaceTime before you get desk time. And I'm also trying to figure out, Dawn, I don't know if you have this in your studio, but lighting is not a problem for me. However, I think too much lighting is becoming a little, how can I say, a little problem, not a big problem. In the daytime, I have a whole lot of light, you can see. But at nighttime, when I'm doing some of my recordings, I'm relying on the lights that are in the studio, and I want them to hone in on my desk. And usually, I used to have a ring light on my desk that sat on top of here so that you could really, see what I'm doing, because I want to make sure everybody is able to see. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm showing how I've taken my life, the whole studio, and that's my main thing. That's the main thing that I use to heal on my journey. And so maybe there's someone out there that needs to know how in the world do they need to get up after, such a loss or whatever. I'm not sure. And if you are in the chat and you feel like you want to have a conversation, put a question in there. I can answer what I can, and if I can't, then I'll say I can't. I did a thing on TikTok the other night. If y'all see the, let's see, where's the finger? Right there. That piece, remember it had flowers all over it? Well, I have taken it and let me get it and bring it closer. And we still got snow on the ground. So I have taken this piece and it has turned into a really, really, really a real mixed media. And it's a whole canvas. So I'm gonna, professionally probably do it myself. Put the things on the back, but the flowers, remember it had purple and then you can see some of the stuff up there, but it started talking to me and therefore I followed its lead. Now it started talking to me again today, and I said I'm probably going to do it, put it back on the easel, and bring it back out because it's kind of what is on there is fading into the background, and I kind of want it to pop back out. So, but yeah, that is that. So we're working on that. And it's going to be like that other piece that was up there that I showed you guys the other day. Okay, I have photo lights with filters on each side of my desk facing my workshop. I always feel like I get shadows though. Yeah, see, that's what I don't want. I don't want shadows. That's exactly. Thank you for saying shadows. That is the whole thing. I don't want shadows. So we go over here on the desk and it's after 5 minutes. So let's get the camera going. Thank you, Sonia. And let's mosey over to the desk. Okay, so right now, because it's daytime, and I have outside light, I have a ring light that's kind of over. You're not going to get shadows that much, but even the ones I am getting, like right there, I just don't want them. Because if, like when I'm painting, I don't want people to see, let's see, like if I was, I do this on purpose. Okay, let's take my planner. This is the only planner I'm using this year. And remember, if y'all want to order this planner, you go to the website. I'll put the link in the description box below. But if you do order this planner, you want to use my code to save, I think, 20%. And the code is JOY217. But let's say, well, let's do February because February is going to be my month. Let's just take my week. And if I wanted to paint, like, right, see now it's paper. So it's a white paper, you see the shadow. So that's the whole point to where I'm wanting to work on it because if I take a brush, I don't have no paint out right now. But if I'm doing this right here, I want people to concentrate on the brush, not the shadow of the brush or the hand. So that's why I'm paying attention to some of the things that's going on the channel so that you can not have to concentrate on some things because some people really are a stickler about that, and I'm one of them people. If it's too much shadow going on, it's going to distract me. And then some people could care less. Like, it depends on what it is. You see right here, you don't see it, but with the white paper you see it. We're going to see how this works out. So I put this book on the desk, and let's see, I put this book on the desk, and I wanted to make sure that I shared as I'm going to talk about some of the points that I'm going to talk about. This is my art journal. And I have I have about 4 art journals. Now, remember I told you guys I have a planner and I have 3 journals. That's not including my art journals. So when you think about the things that I'm going to be sharing throughout whenever I come on live, I'm going to try to be specific and tell you, which one I'm using. So this one is an art journal, and you can pretty much tell the difference between my art journals and my journals. Like my journal is going to have, I can't say that it's not going to have words in it. Oh, it's not in here. Sorry, it's in the bedroom because that's where I had it last. But it's not to say that it won't have words in it. Maybe low side lights. My daughter told me to get, I can't remember what they're called, but basically it directs the light. So all the light that I have in here, it'll be these things you put up on the side and it'll tell the light kind of where to go. I saw a video. And I got it. But again, it's not a major. It's just something that going forward, because I've been on YouTube now for I look back at some old videos and some of the things, and I was just like, oh, that it bothered me. So yeah. All right. So this is kind of what I wanted to talk about as I'm talking about grief and grieving the loss of other things other than death. Because some people lose they grieve over their identity, they grieve over the loss of a dream, they grieve over the loss of like a dog, which I think is like a loved one. But they grieve their jobs. My husband retired after 28 years. He grieved the leaving the military. It's always the questions like, what next? And so people do. You grieve when you go through a divorce. I believe you grieve. Some people do. You grieve in certain ways because it's a lifestyle that maybe you were used to. You grieve a relationship when you break up. There it is. When you break up with someone, you grieve a friendship. Like I had a friendship that I thought I thought it was important to me, but I learned quickly I got dropped. And I had to grieve the picking up the phone, calling that person, talking to that person, and that person no longer being in my life. So I had to grieve that. So grief is anything that makes your heart hurt. That's the way I like to call it. That's why I like to say it. Grief is a response to change, right? And I'm going to be talking as I kind of slap some stuff down. Oh, my gesso done got. Okay. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. Let me know. Hi, Sarah, you made it. Yay. Light boxes. Yes, that's what it is. That is exactly what it is. Light boxes. Um, and I said I could make my own from after I saw what they look like. I said I can make them. Let's see which brush we want. But so that's what sparked me when I was doing some I guess you can. I was writing. That's what I was doing. I was writing. And I'm writing, like I said, the next book that's coming out. It's about my son, his life, and his legacy, and, all the things that pretty much was not discussed on the front side, but, how they just really negated to mention a lot of things. That's why I don't pay too much attention to the media because the media only wants ratings. They only want you to watch their channel and come back to them. And if you got the juicy, what you think is the gossip, then that's what they're gonna share. And watching how that whole thing folded just made me just look, Anyways, okay. So my point is, because I got squirrel there for a minute, as I was writing that book, as I'm writing that book. And I got to a point and I realized that there was a point in his life that made me sad. And it was, a time when we moved and I had to grieve the house, like when we moved. And I was like, wow, grief is really seriously anything that makes your heart hurt, right? This right here is a form of journaling, but with pictures. I was going to throw a basket of things away because y'all know I'm downsizing a lot of things in my studio that don't serve me anymore, and I'm getting rid of them. And so when I came across these, I was like, oh, I'm not going to throw these away, so let me just slap them down. But best day ever, and focus on the good. It spoke to me. I slapped them down. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do that Wednesday because this was yesterday. I can do that on the thing. So all I do pretty much is slap them down because remember, we don't want it to have a blank page. Whatever you want to create, however you want to create, you just do it. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to take some other stuff. But the key point is grief is just about losing grief isn't just about losing a person. It's about losing something familiar or meaningful. Like you really think about the people. Oh, good. Let me tell you about a good grief. Hi, Bernadette. Well, it's not a good grief, but it's a good example of grief right now. California, they're grieving. And some people are grieving the loss of loved ones that have died in the fire or however. But a lot of people are grieving their homes, their things. And I personally said, Lord, I wouldn't know what to do if, something caught on fire, the house caught on fire, and all the things that, you think about your memories, you think about the photos that are gone, you think about, well, I was thinking about those things because those are what's important. Um, Now that the kids now, they have a lot of digital stuff, and I have a lot of stuff on digital, but I have a lot of things that are in photo albums. Because I think before there was a scrapbooking world, I was scrapbooking and keeping photos of my kids, and I had videos, but they're gone. So I've been grieving some things as well. And when I tell you, other than the loss of, my daughter and my son, because I've lost my dad. My dad died in 2000, 2016. My uncle died. So it was a lot. Not 2016, 2006. Then my daughter died in 2007. So it was just like one pile on top of another. I'm in a good mood. This is why I am using yellow, because yellow is my happy color. Yeah, Sonia says, I'm in California. It's so sad. I can only imagine. Like I wouldn't even want to be. California was one of Joshua's favorite places. That's where he was getting ready to move to, as a matter of fact. And it's one of the places I have on my list to spread his ashes. That he had asked that some of his ashes be spread um, in California. So to think of going there now, it's sad. However, those people will have to do that lost their house, they're grieving now. And so that's why I say grief isn't just about losing a person, it's about losing things. Like there are some things that, have gone that are I'm going to put it this way, writing off in my life because I didn't have the control to hold on to them, and now they're gone. And it makes it even sadder for me when something that was given to me by someone who has passed on, and then I don't have it anymore. Like you can't go to the person and say, "Hey, can you go and give me another one of these?" And they can't because they're not here anymore. So I'm grieving the loss of some things, and to some people, they're just some things because they don't keep things, or it's not important to them, and that's okay. Listen, I'm not saying that, but I thought about it, moving away from my home. You got a different community, like my husband when he retired. It's just the stability and identity of what was. And so now that person has to grieve what is a natural response to navigating that loss. And I don't think we realize, like a lot of people feel like right now they have to grieve the next 4 years. And I don't feel like I need to grieve something that hasn't even happened yet. Maybe some people feel like they need to grieve the last 4 years. You see what I'm saying? Grief is a lot of different things, but we don't talk about grief because why? We think about grief as death, and we don't realize that it's more than just death. Now I feel like I want to put something else on here, but that's kind of working for me. And it is, but maybe a little white. Or maybe, oh no, oh, you know what? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, I got something. Y'all know I love pencils. It's still so much snow outside, I tell you. And then, like think about a dream. Y'all use your anointed imaginations right now. Think about when you were 7 or 8 years old. What did you want to be? Put it in chat. What did you want to be? I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a teacher. But what did you want to be when you were 7 or 8 years old? What did you want to be? All right, I think this is dry enough. Maybe. Maybe not. Y'all remember those books I made the other day? I brought them on to show you. While we let this dry a little bit and wait on some comments of what did you want to be at 7 or 8 years old, or when you were growing up, what did you want to be? Excuse me. I put a frame on that one. I'm still not the OBGYN. Oh Lord, she want to look at cat all day. Oh, Jesus, I hate going to the OBGYN. Okay. Who else? Somebody else got one. Sarah wanted to be an OBGYN. You still want to be an OBGYN? Soul Train dancer. I love it. Oh my God. Now that Soul Train isn't there, but I'm quite sure you still do a lot of dancing. But wow, Soul Train dancer. I love it. Love it. That yellow, yeah, that yellow with the blue, a lawyer. Bernadette, you want to be a lawyer? Oh snap! I can see that. I can see that. You still are, you still hold your own with justice. I definitely see that. But yeah. So think about that. That's why I didn't because of that comment. Let me tell you something. Um, OBGYN. I mean, it is what it is. We as women, we all need them. I just think they need to come up with some more. Well, I don't care now, but I think they need to come up with some better tools, like more comfortable, I should say. But I'm finna squirrel. I digress. I digress. I'm going to use me as an example. Thank you guys for giving me your comments. I appreciate it. Um, Mine being a lawyer and being a teacher. One of them, teacher, I reverted to because it was easier to do the kids. Um, so I guess you could, but a dream. Let's see how I can say this. A dream. It could have been a dream derailed because I didn't become a lawyer. But in the dream of becoming a lawyer, I wanted to do it. I felt like it was what I wanted to do. I wanted to stand up for justice. Thurgood Marshall was my the person that I saw, and I was just like, oh, I think I'd be great. I had in my mind I wanted to be the first black. What's that thing? What Thurgood Marshall was? You know, the Justice Supreme Court. All the things. So I had it big. But then somewhere in the world, in the scheme of my life, somebody told me what they felt I couldn't do, shouldn't do, and all the things. And then I let them speak over my life. And so therefore it was a dream that I had to grieve over. Now, this dream lasted all the way up until I was in high school. So I wanted to be a lawyer all the way up into high school. And then after um, graduating, moving on, doing all things, got married, still wanted to. I still want to be a lawyer. As a matter of fact, after Joshua was murdered, I did the thing, I took the LSAT, and COVID happened. And then I was just like, do you really want to be a lawyer? And then I had to reevaluate what I wanted in life. Like, it wasn't a dream anymore. It was something now that it was right there. I could grab it. I could do this. But what I did was I stopped after I took the LSAT and I applied to two colleges and I was like, well, if I get in, I get in. I'll go to school and be a lawyer, right? And I applied to Syracuse because Syracuse had a JD program that was 100% online. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to go in no, at my age, I didn't want to go to no school and have to walk around with these, with the young kids. They want to. I liked online, and I do better online. I like it that way. Um, and so once I got the first letter that came, and after I applied, so I went through the process and did all things, and then I applied, and I got rejected. They sent me a sorry, not now kind of letter, you didn't get in, whatever. I was super excited. William didn't even understand. He's like, they said no. They didn't say no. But here's the thing, guys. This is the thing. I had grieved over not being a lawyer for so long. Like, somebody pretty much had told me what I couldn't do. And I was pretty much like, I believed them. And so now I was at the gate. I was right here. I could do it, right? So now it wasn't something that somebody was telling me I couldn't do. So it wasn't a dream anymore. It was reality. So the grieving of the dream was no longer. Now, this is the point to where when I got that letter, I was happy. Like most people get, they get sad because it's like, oh, I got denied or whatever. But you know what? I showed up for me. I didn't show up because somebody told me that I wasn't smart enough or I wasn't good enough or whatever. I finally took myself and I did what I wanted to do for Karen. And that's all I'm saying. When you're grieving something other than the loss of someone, you get to choose how you show up in the world. You get to choose how you show up in the world even when you've lost someone. I'm showing up right now for you guys. We will keep trying. No, we're not gonna keep trying. I'm good. I defeated the thing that was defeating me. They told me I wasn't smart enough to pass the test. Well, the LSAT isn't a test where you pass or fail. So, boom, got that done. But you have to move forward. You have to move one step at a time and decide. Ask yourself, what do you want? Right? Focus on the good. That's why when this fell off into my lap, it was God's way of telling me to focus on the good. Right? Don't worry about what happened 30, 40 years ago. Right? Focus on what do you want now. You know, that kind of happened to me. I went to nursing school and learned that they have no plans of healing people, and I realized med school wasn't for me. Absolutely. I mean, without going deep, I mean, who wants to heal cancer? Like, yes, we want them to heal cancer, but that's going to take a lot of money out of people's pockets. So, I mean, when you really just sit down and reevaluate your life and ask yourself these questions that 7, 8, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20-year-old you wasn't even thinking about. You know what I'm saying? So instead of like sitting there listening to what somebody told you, ask yourself. Start talking to yourself. And that's why I do. That's why I show up here. And for the last, like I said, I really got good about YouTube and start focusing on my own healing journey. It was here on YouTube. So I was like, okay, people are looking, people are there, you're showing up, and I get to do it now with my art and have fun. Like I got a whole studio here and I'm absolutely love it. Like I literally can, like I've already told y'all in the past, I can stay down here, put a bed down here, put a big TV down here. I can even put a refrigerator down here. I got an entrance and an exit. I don't have to go nowhere else. Go to the grocery store, bring my food in, you know, but can't do that. Have to still show up. So we have to show up in the world. And how you want to show up, that's the question. So how do you want to show up? When grief is unacknowledged, it causes a problem. It's a struggle in life. You become angry, you become bitter, and then one day you're trying to figure out what in the world is wrong with me, right? But sometimes you just have to sit back and be like, I'm mad because this happened. I'm mad because that happened. I'm just angry. I've lost 2 children. I have all rights and privileges to be angry. But I've chosen to create things, put my anger in a place where it serves me and it serves others so I can teach people. Remember, I said I want to be a teacher as well, so I can teach people how to let go of the unseen losses, maybe to let go of what doesn't serve them anymore. But it's okay to grieve. Like, even if you, oh my God, let me tell y'all about the car. I had the BMW that got wrecked. I still grieve. I still get triggered about that. Literally, something just popped in my head and just like, so it's not only children that I grieve over here. Like, sometimes I have to acknowledge I have a collective life that there are things that have been taken away from me. And I grieve those too, right? But getting back up, what does that look like? So that's why I come over here on YouTube and I hang out with you guys Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. No, I'm sorry, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I show you whatever is going on in my life and get to chat about whatever is going on and whatever the Lord has laid on my heart, or, or you get to come on here and say, leave me a comment and say, hey, I need to talk about this, or how do you feel about that? It's just not one-sided. We get to collaborate this thing. It just happens to be This isn't a Zoom where, everybody could be on here. You have to chat about it. And it works out. Now, some people might come through, and if you come through and you're watching the replay, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that bell notification and that all button so that when I do go live, you will get a note. You will get notified when I go live, because sometimes I'll pop up on here even if it's not Mondays and Wednesdays, because I'll have something that's burning in my gut and I feel like I want to share. So I share. All right, this is good. This is good. I like this. I like this. See, we got the girl. She's laughing, and we chose happiness. We got different ages. She's a young girl. She's all happy, and over here, we're still happy too. But maybe they're not as happy as she is. Maybe she hasn't lost, or maybe she has suffered a loss, and she chooses to still smile. Not sure, because some days I do feel like this. Early today, I was outside with the dogs in all that snow, and I decided to be, let the little kid, after I cut the camera off, I decided to just let the little kid out and, just run in the snow, because that's what I felt like I wanted to do. I figured it was there, and then run with the dogs. I had put the puppies up, because the puppies, I felt like their little feet, they were so cold, we didn't want to keep them outside. Oh, that might be too much. Hold on. Let's see if we can water this down. So, but how do you feel about your journey now? Like everybody did, if you put in the chat how you felt about, your dream, or you put in the chat your dream, how do you feel now that you're not living out your dream? And if you're watching the replay, join the conversation. Put in the comments below, what was your childhood dream? Like, when you were 7, 8, I always say 7, 8, because I think that was the time when I really realized that I got to choose what I wanted to do. Somebody wasn't going to just tell me what to do. And I think it was around 7 or 8. So I always say 7 or 8. But yeah, if you're on the replay, put in the chat. Let us know. Let us know what you want it to be. And some people might be able to put in the chat that they did that thing. Like, I know a couple of friends of mine that are lawyers. They want to be a lawyer all their lives. They went to law school. I do know a couple of them that's not practicing, because they're just like, I didn't want to do that no more. Their ethics got questioned, and they wanted to do something that was beneficial. Hey, Lisa, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Welcome to the studio. We're just over here slapping a little bit of paint on paper, talking about other forms of grief other than just death of a loved one. We're talking about possibly a job, a relationship, friendship, a car. We grieve different things in life, and we have to figure out how we're going to get to the place to where we can move past it, because unlike death, we've lost something that was, really, really important. Like, I can never compare my car to my children. The hurt that I've losing my children is different. However, it is a stage of grief that I had to go through. So I had to acknowledge that I was angry. I had to acknowledge that every time I saw a car that looked like that one, it triggered me. So that's what I'm saying. Recovering from knee replacement. Oh my God. Mr. McCoy's going to have knee replacement surgery too. He's already had one of his knees. And I'm not speaking this into existence, but he really needs to have it done, because he's starting to walk like a 80 or 90-year-old man. And I know he has that look on his face right now. He's like, oh, I can't believe she said that. I did. I realized what I really wanted was to heal people and food. Yes. And the way you're doing it now, Sarah, is I definitely can see it. It's a better way, and it makes you happier. But when you look at things that are not meant to make us happy, like right now, to get food that is homegrown and doesn't have any, what do they call it, non-GMO, that kind of stuff that makes our, see, he says stop it. Yep, it's okay. You know what the children say? Everything is part of the show or part of the studio conversation. Um, but yeah, it's good to be able to eat things that are healthy for you, and you won't have to have a whole lot of medicine. Like for me, I'm a diabetic. Do I like taking pills? I absolutely do not. So what do? I eat better, right? And it's one of those things that it makes me feel better too, because the medicine sometimes it's hit or miss. It makes my sugar go low. It goes from like 160, 170 all the way down to like 75 or 40. And then I feel like I'm drunk. And so, now that I've realized and told my doctor, it's like, no, I think we're just going to do a couple things. You're going to do your thing because I'm not going to say no to the meds, but I'm going to eat better. I'm going to eat more, less meat that is processed and less processed. I don't eat processed food at all anymore. Um, Lisa, make sure you do all those exercise to get those degrees back. Do not, because listen, you do not want them to have to go back in and bend that knee for you. It's like bend that knee, bend that knee, bend that knee. I know Mr. McCoy can agree that his other knee that he did have surgery on, it feels a whole lot better. But he is relying on that good knee for that bad knee. And that's just the truth. I'm loving this. Look how that pops out that page. I just watched your scrambled eggs video, Sarah. I love cooking. It brings me joy. Yes, Sarah can cook, y'all. She put some whip on some grits. I just looked at them grits and I was like, these are not real Southern grits, so we need to rename them. They're not grits. They needed to have another name. Cause I'm a girl raised in the South, so grits is grits. I don't need them. I just need some butter, and that's it. But Sarah made some grits that all we need is slap some put some shrimp in them. Oh my goodness, she is the bomb. Oh, and let me give her another shout out. She is a great baker as well. Glad to be working with others. Grief as a mental health counselor. However, once I lost my son this past summer, it has become very hard to work with. Yes, so Sonia, I had to give it up. I gave it up. I couldn't do it. And so that's why I pivoted. I pivot literally. I didn't. I'm not out there anymore. But now it's more of a. I get to show people how. And as a counselor, is a lot of things you can't do. They tie your hands. And so I just was like, I don't want to move forward with it. I want to be in a place where I can be free to help people really, really heal and not just talk about it. Like, I want to show you how I'm healing. I want you to see that I'm not only talking about doing art, I do art, and to show you the process of how I sometimes have a funky day, and then I have to write out all the bad words that are in my mind, and I take them and put them on a page. I don't think this book has any bad words in it. Most of the time, my artwork they had bad words in it. I've gotten better. I've gotten better. But doing this right here has made me be freer with how my feelings are, right? If I'm not in a great mood that I want to serve the world, I don't show up. Because it's not the world's fault that my son is gone. It's not the world's fault that my daughter is gone. And so therefore I can't blame people. And so I try to make sure that I hone in on what's really bothering Karen. And life is hard after you've lost a child. Like I told somebody the other day, um, their birth is nothing like their death. Because when they're born, we celebrate, we celebrate, we celebrate, and we don't even think about losing them. What? Because most people think that mothers, children should bury their parents. We don't think about it the opposite. And so, having lost two children and a granddaughter, it's just one of those things. I had to have a real heart to heart conversation with God. And every day that I wake up, I'll be like, okay, I guess he's still listening because he's still directing. And the one thing that I've started doing is doing my art. Renew your joy through art. Renew your joy through journaling, writing a book. But acknowledging the pain and acknowledging the anger and not ignoring them is what made me feel better. Um, Sonia, losing a loved one truly can be a pivotal time to reflect on how you can go on. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And speaking from a place, that's why I say speaking from a place where having to have lost two children, this is why I show up this way. Because I know that someone either is going to see this video, they're going to be like, how in the world am I supposed to get up today and move on? Like, how am I supposed to do that? Right? And so for me, I get to share right here, having this conversation with you guys and acknowledging some days that I don't want to show up. But God has made me put a time on it because people were asking, well, what time? What time? I want to be able to be there to support you and all the things. And I was just like, all right, God, I hear you. You're telling me I need to put a time on it. Okay. And it makes me feel better because I know that I get to look forward to hanging out with you guys. And I don't have to worry about hanging out, coming to be perfect. Because I've already told you, in my authenticity of my life, if I'm feeling a little funky and I'm feeling a little, I'm going to still show up. I'm just going to let y'all know, yeah, the day ain't a good day. The day ain't a great day. And then this is what we're going to do to get out of that funk. And normally what I'm doing like right now is usually what I'll be in the studio doing. I've had people that was just like, well, maybe you need to do your Patreon. Well, I do my Patreon. I teach in my Patreon. That's more in depth. That has nothing to do with my grief journey. Like this right here helps someone else, even if whether they join my Patreon or not. This helps them to understand, oh man, she really is walking this thing out. I used my adult coloring book last night to help reduce my anxiety. Yeah, close to being evacuated due to the fires. Oh my God, is it that bad? So you're close to the fires too? Oh my goodness. So I listen, I don't look at the media again. And I got all of my stuff that I got from what I do know of in the world. Either somebody send me something, um, or somebody I'll glance and see. But the last couple of days been centered around social media was centered around um, our new president. So I didn't see a lot of stuff, and nor do I go googling for a lot of stuff. But my heart it goes out to um, California. Like I'm just so sad that like they're talking about cities as a whole, like are gone. Like the whole subdivisions are gone. I'm just like, oh my goodness. And around here in Alabama, like they do fires, they do burnings, controlled burns around here. And I thought about it. I was like, man, that could be around here. People it could get away. Like it could get away, and that could be in my backyard because there's nothing but trees here on the ranch. So it makes you think about things and it makes you appreciate where you are in life, right? So I show up on YouTube to help someone else maybe acknowledge their grief that they are grieving or to decide how they're going to pivot because slapping paint on paper might not be your thing, right? My conversation might be what you're here for and, be like, how you do this or what have you. That's a little different. But hanging out with you guys, it helps me heal every single day that I make a video for YouTube or I write in my book, I journal, or I'm doing a script planning. Most of the time I don't do scripting because I want to be very authentic with it. Yeah, yesterday I woke up to 3 active fires near me. Oh my gosh, Jesus. Whew, we're going to pray right now and touch and pray that look, y'all need snow y'all way. So that way this can, like some snow, could put them fires out. Um, yeah. Oh, and Friday, guys, Sarah and I are going to be on here. Sarah, we need a time. And we're going to be talking about not so much as doing a Bible study, but we kind of want to go in depth, not too deep, but just kind of surface conversations around things that happen in the Bible and how do they serve us in our time today. Because so many people are looking for answers in this world. They're looking for ways um, to find joy. People want to show up. They want to smile. They don't want to stay bitter. They don't want to be mean. And sometimes they just need to, know that they're not the only one that's going through this. Like, married, going on 16 years. We've been together for 18 years. And even still, we every now and then we see somebody and, my husband be like, I'd be like, yeah, you ain't the only one going through that. And it's not the first time that this maybe has happened. But when you get and collaborate with people and they help you to get through it, then that's what makes it a little easier. So in the Bible, there are a lot of stories. There are a lot of good stories. But what I do tell people, and I used to tell my kids, there's nothing new under the sun. Somebody has been through it. It's happened to someone before. And it's how are you going to choose to navigate through it is what makes it different, right? When I left corporate America, I didn't look back. So I wasn't finna be like Lot's wife and turn into a pillar of salt. I haven't looked back. I ain't looking back. And I don't care how low money get. I ain't going back. Deb, hi. 19 years ago, I lost then 7 months later, lost my husband. It was long road to recovery from that one. 2 to 5 a.m. were the heart. Yes. Yes. Wish I had been crafting at that time. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Deb. I do appreciate that. 19 years ago, man. That's like, I can't believe it's been 17, well, it'll be 18 years this year since my daughter and my granddaughter. I cannot believe it. But what I do see is God literally keeping me when I go back through it. And I mean, when I had to stand by that casket again, I was like, God, I cannot believe you finna do this. I got to do this again, which made me angry, right? And I try to tell people, some people have asked me, I can't believe you still believe in God, you still serve God, you still give God all this, that, whatever. I was like, listen, I don't know what you do with your house, but as for me and my house, I'm going to still continue to serve him, good, bad, or indifferent. God never said that there wouldn't be death. As a matter of fact, it's in Genesis 1. There's going to be death. That's when it got introduced. So what I'm over here trying to really hone in for myself and others is don't give up. Like, literally, don't give up. Do not give up. Oh, hold on. I got to read. Got some chats. Interesting thought. Tragedy like the floods in North Carolina fires are things similar to death. People know what they had will never exist again. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. God be with. Yep. Karen, I appreciate your willingness to be transparent in your grief journey. I am very grateful for your wisdom. Thank you, Sonia. But you know what? You got wisdom. You're growing through it as well. And that's what I like to say. I grow through it. I fuss through it. I cuss through it. I'm saved, sanctified, and I'm full of some of the Holy Ghost. God is still working on me. And you know when I'm going to be perfect? When I'm dead. So do I get angry? Yes. Do I write bad notes to God? Yes. Do I say bad things in my prayers? Absolutely. And I think that helps me on my journey. Look at this. This has turned out to be so, like, we started out like this. And then now we're like this. I love these Stabilo pencils. So let me share something with you. We're going to put this over here because I need this to dry because I'm going to do some more things to it later. I like ripping paper. I have a whole bin over here. This basket is empty now. Dawn has been on here back in October when this basket was full. It's empty now, but you can see I like ripping paper. Doesn't matter what it is. And then I'll eventually take this paper and turn it into something beautiful. But at the time when I ripped these papers, I cut that out because that was pretty. But when I rip these pages out of magazines, I have magazines that I just rip. And they make me feel better. And then I put them together, and it's like whenever I need them, I'll slap them down literally in the book, like what I just did with those other ones. And, it makes me feel better. I can control only the things I can control. I cannot control death. And every single day that I wake up that I don't get a phone call, I'm very grateful. Monday, I think it was Monday, my grandma called. Her sister died, which is is my dad's mom. It's her sister, so it's my great aunt. And her brother died last year, so it's like, okay. But to make me feel better, I literally get a magazine and I'll just start ripping out of it, and to rip something that you don't have to worry about. Like, don't go get something that means something to you and rip it up unless you want to. I mean, I take regular paper, but this is what this basket is. It's things that I've either cut up, ripped up, put in here so that I can put in my journal. um, Painted on that. I was going to rip that in half, and then I paused. Letters, all kinds of paper. And then I just have a basket and I collect it in. Ledger paper, it eventually turned into something to get slapped in. Stickers. I ripped this up because it was a magazine cover, and I was just like, well, those are pretty roses. I'll put that on something later. And then, of course, I always have to have my color chart because I'm one of them people that can't remember what to do, what not to do. Oh, did I not tell y'all? I'm not perfect at this thing. And you don't have to. Oh, and for encouraging words, if you get Joyce Meyer's, you can always get words to cut up. So we cut hers up. Like from dream to reality. Listen, look how that just worked out. Check it out, check it out. Boom. Because we were talking about what? Dreams earlier. We were talking about dreams. Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that. We're going to narrow it down because I want dreams to reality. And another thing, when you're grieving, even if you're grieving the loss of a loved one, or you're grieving a dream, or you're grieving a relationship, whatever you find that you're grieving, sometimes I grieve food because I can't have it. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't have that. It doesn't last long, but I do. But check this out. So we're going to take that, like something as simple as that. Now, from dream to reality, right? Best day ever. I don't want to cover up her face, but we could kind of put it. Oh, let's put it right there. There we go. Now, to start this right here, let's say you're just like, Karen, that looks great. I would love to do that. It doesn't take much. Don't worry about going to the store. If you got glue, Mod Podge, if you got a magazine, if you got a book, open it up, start collecting pictures. I'll tell people, if you only make a copy of photos. Don't put your original photos down. But I always encourage people to try to think of something that will help you to create journaling. If art isn't your thing, slapping paint on paper isn't your thing, then you don't have to do it. Just find something that makes you smile. Like by the time the process is over with, you're just like, oh my God, that just made me feel so good. Like Sonia said earlier, she was coloring in her coloring book, and that helped her a little bit. It's the simple things. Like, and don't worry about coloring inside the lines. Look how that turned out. Look at that, y'all. Just as simple as me sharing my Joyce Meyer book. And that's all. That's a really, really, I'll read the articles. Don't get me wrong. I'll read some of the stuff in there. But look, let go, let your light shine. That's going to end up in something. Sure is. So let's put this bag over here because it needs to dry. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is the books that I did. I think I showed them to you Monday, how to fold these books. This was, again, my art. But look what I did. I went inside and stuck some things in there. Butterflies, my roses. Look at them roses, y'all. I done got so much better with my roses. They just kind of pop off the page. See, the joy. And there's a bee. Dawn, look at that bee. This is why I show up, y'all, because at the end of these lives, and by the time I finish talking to y'all, I have renewed strength. I have renewed energy. And then I tell God, okay, God, thank you for waking me up this morning. But sometimes if I get too happy, then I'll be like, God, I can't believe you had to put me through what you put me through. And I'm happy. But I'm not happy that I lost my children. It's just that sometimes you look at where you are and you look at where you've been and you just kind of like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I'm still here. All right. Y'all see my 2 box of paint. All right, let's put that down there. Okay, so this one, again, you don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff. Just look around your house and just find some things to kind of slap down, put some glue some things down, and just see what you can create from that. And if you find out it's something that you enjoy doing, then that's when we can have a conversation as to where to go next, right? So I will offer you the invitation to join me on my Patreon, because that's where you do get a little bit more of the how-to and all the things. But in the description box, I'm quite sure all my links are on there of how to connect and reach out, reach out. I dread the upcoming trial for his murder. Any advice for getting through this next? Oh, okay. All right. Let's get off of the desk. That's a FaceTime conversation. Hold on. That's a FaceTime conversation. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. All right. Last year, January, oh my God, it's a year to the date, January the 22nd, a year ago, was the ending of my conversation with the district attorney for my son's murder. The people that, air quotes, they say murdered him. Uh, there's so much more behind that. But Sonia, my son was murdered October the 4th in 2019. Last year, a year ago today, the phone call came from the district attorney to say that we're done. The last person took the plea deal. We don't have to do it, anything. I had to literally grieve that as well. So you're going to grieve going in, you're going to grieve while you're in it, and you're going to grieve when you no longer have to deal with it anymore. Because why? Grief is anything that makes your heart hurt, anything that you have to relive. And if you're like me, I had to relive it from all those every year, sometimes 3 and 4 times a month. I had to talk to the district attorney about this and that. And I really didn't get to grieve. I really didn't get to cry. I really just kind of had to, okay, let's just buckle this up so that I can have these conversations with her whenever she calls, or whenever an email come through, or whenever one of his friends would reach out to me. It will hurt my heart. And so I kind of just like, okay, we're not going to worry about it. So I literally packed it down inside. And that's how the art got going. I needed to have a release, to have a real conversation, right? And so the real conversation was with me, because I couldn't tell people how I was truly feeling at that moment. So when you think about going in, the rushing of the trial, don't rush the process. Trust the process. And this is me going in. I wanted it to be over. I was like on Law and Order, it's over in 45 minutes. Yes, I know this is not real life. It's not like that. But in my mind, I just wanted to go to sleep and wake up, and this was a dream and it was over with. But when you have to go, the thing for me, I didn't have to go to trial. COVID happened. So everybody had to come inside. So it got pushed. So I really didn't have to deal with it right away. But it still didn't make it better. So I would tell you, going into it, when you go in, pray, be clear about what you want. The district attorney, I can say Megan was one of the best. She became like a friend. She became someone, so much so that when I didn't have to talk to her anymore, I felt like I was losing a friend. I felt like my relationship with her was over. And she has since reached out to just, to say, I was thinking about you and want to make sure you're still, okay. And that made me feel good. It wasn't just about the case. So depending on how you're moved, how you have to go into the trial. Mine, like I said, the guys took a plea deal, so we didn't have to go into court. They basically came forward, said, yes, we did this, and yes, we're responsible. And it was three of them, so we had to go through this process three separate times. And having to face the person that took your child, you're going to have to brace yourself for that. Literally sitting there in the courtroom for the one that I did go for the sentencing, it was hard. But I didn't cry until last year. Last year, January 22nd, was when I really, really, really cried, because I didn't have to visit it anymore. And again, I grieved the whole process. And for January, all last year, I took all last year off. I didn't do anything. I didn't go speaking. All I did was sat here in the studio, painted, slap paint on paper, dealt with the dogs. I did stuff around the house, and it made me it made me realize how much self-care was for me. So for you, I want you to take care of yourself along the journey. Don't wait till you're out of it. Take care of yourself. And I'm here for you. You can reach out to me, because it's a hard process, and it's going to make you cry a lot, because when somebody's taking something away from you, there's no easy way to say that it's going to be okay. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's going to be okay. I'm going to tell you you're going to cry through the whole process. But what I want you to do is have something that you can go, someplace you can go, that you can take care of yourself, and make sure that you are clear, crystal clear on what it is you want. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know what you want, your end. So the end result was, I wanted these people to be responsible for my son's death. What that looked like getting there, I needed to be able to articulate that. They had death on the table for these guys because it was capital murder. I knew that I didn't want another mother to be put in the place where I was. So I did know that. So now it was just how much time was the right amount of time. And I had to pray and ask God to give me a heart to really be able to articulate what that looked like. So altogether, they have over 100 years, and they'll be 75, 80 years old before they get out of jail. And I'm okay with that. Some people is just like, I don't care what happens to their mother, whatever, whatever. Well, that's not me. I do not wish how I felt after losing my daughter and my son on another mother. And what their son did, it wasn't them. It wasn't like they were with them. It's not like they knew what they were doing. So on that day, they lost their sons just like I lost mine, but they get to go visit their son. So there's a little bit in there. And then I'm working on forgiveness. I'm working on forgiving them. So I hope that I hope that helped. Let me scroll back. I got a lot of God loves us just as we are. You are inspired. You inspire me to pull out the good, the bad, and the ugly, no matter where we meet. God, He takes us. Yes, yes. I've been here. Was just listening. Sorry. Was trying to figure out the one touch monitor. Dawn, I know you're there. I'm appreciative for all of you that are here today. Today, like I said, it's not a bad day. But it was a day that it made me reflect, because when I was running in the snow, it made me think about my son, because we would go to the mountains and he loved the snow. He loved the snow, right? And so he taught himself, how to snowboard. And so it's memories like that that I won't have again. So the snow, when it starts snowing, that, it made me sad. But in the same times, it made me happy, because I have those memories and they're here. And then I have photos that are in my phone that, thank God, they're in my phone, and they're in the cloud, and they're in my external hard drive. Trust me, I have them everywhere, because I always want to remember, and I never want to lose the thought. And God forbid if I should ever start losing my memory, people will show me photos that will hopefully bring me back. So, yeah, Sonia, I hope that helped you. And again, thank you for being here, and thank you for the question. because you made me really answer the question out loud so that I can hear that I still have work to do on healing as well. Like I said, it's been 5 years since my son's murder, and my daughter committed suicide, so that was a little different. She chose, and God allowed. So, but my son, he was ambushed at his apartments, and they took his life. So he loved life, so he didn't ask for them to kill him. So it was a little different. And right now, my journey right now is, how am I going to forgive? Because I'm still at a very bitter and very hurtful place that I haven't decided what does that look like. I know I have to forgive. I know that God says we need to forgive, and in my spirit I believe I've forgiven, but in my flesh I could still see them. I can still see some things, some thoughts in my mind that, but at the end it still doesn't give me gratification, because you know why? My son will never be back. So it doesn't matter what they do or what happens. So that's why I have to forgive. And I'm working on it. So y'all pray for me. And one day I'm going to be able to tell y'all I forgive them, but I don't forgive them right now. I'm working on it. So, all right, Lisa says a local minister lost his daughter to a drunk driver. Years later, God showed him how to forgive him. The article in the paper made me cry. Yeah, I have, let's see, I've talked to some people, and I've read everywhere in the Bible that it says forgive, and I know I'm supposed to. And I know it's coming, and I know it's going to be very, very powerful when I do, because I'm fighting with it so much so. Like, I did do a page here. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back to the desk time. I had to show your face. Had to show my face in that. I couldn't let her see me. I needed her to see me. This one, hope, love, and pray. And up under here, if I could back this thing up and show y'all the words, like you can see some of the writings on here, Asemic writing, the things I put on here about why I didn't want to forgive. And so then by the time it was over with, I was just like, I have hope that I will forgive. And I know that God loves me, so I need to forgive. And I'm praying that I will forgive. So it's there. It's there. And I'm working on it, and I do it every single day. It's in my journal. It's in my being. So that's how I know it's going to happen. And it's not going to be something that I'm going to continue fighting with. But when you ask me at the moment in time, it's like, do you forgive the people that killed your son? And the answer is no. Like, I have to be honest in the moment, right? So remember, I told y'all, it's one of those things that you need to be honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, then you'll be walking around here trying to figure out why you're cussing the man off at the gas station, right? And all he did was actually, did you need some help? That's a true story, by the way. So I had to set manageable goals, objectives. The objective is to say I forgive, but right now I don't, and I have to be patient with myself in the process and honest. Like, it's okay. Like, no, I don't forgive them. They were rude. They were jealous. They were like vindictive. Somebody told them that they needed to do this, and they went and did it for some money. So you took my son's life over some money. So you hear all that anger? That's why I have hope that it'll change. And I know God loves me, and I pray about it every day, right? So that is how I'm going to get through it. And all of that, what I just gave y'all, it just whelped up a thing inside of me. So that means when I get off of here, what am I going to do? I'm going to slap some paint on some paper. Whew, as I take a deep breath. Keep breathing. I have to remind myself to breathe. I was talking to a friend today, and we were joking about breathing, and I was like, no, I have to remind myself to breathe sometimes, because sometimes I literally sit up, and then I'll be trying to figure out what's going on. I'll be like, fool, breathe. Just like, my bad. I guess I do need to breathe in and out. Some things people take for granted. I don't. So life is short, and I'm spending more time trying to figure out how to get more joy in my life, so that way I'll be able to have peace about the people, say I forgive them, and then move on. But right now, I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. The fact that you preserve their lives for the sake of the mothers, we can pray that God is shown. Yeah, yeah. And somebody else was saying that they hope that the mothers realize that. And I was just like, I really don't care. Like, I don't. I hope that they know enough about the law because the boys were charged with capital murder, which in Texas, it's death. So I hope that they know. But one day, I'm going to write a letter to the young men in jail. One day, I'm quite sure I will. When I finish with my book that I'm writing, I'm quite sure I'm going to send it to them. And the one of the three was the younger one. He will get out when he's probably like 60 something, I think. My question to him, because he helped get the other ones, my question to him was, what do you plan on doing with your life? Like, you just went along for the ride and your whole life was over. And I needed to know before she offered him the deal that she was going to offer him. I needed to know what he was going to do. This is how much of the process I was involved in when she would call me. And I'd be like, no, that's not enough. He needs more time than that. And so with his answer, I said he needs more time to decide what he needs to do with his life because I don't want him to get out and then go and kill somebody else's child. So I needed to make sure that he wasn't getting a good deal to just get out in, 2, 3 years because that's what he wanted. It was like, the answer was, hell no. That's what my answer was. Full of tears, like I can't believe, but she had to bring it to me to. So all right, guys, that's enough of that. Whoo, let's release. Let's not woo-saw, but let's just let that go. But Sonia, I hope that helped you. And again, we're here with you on this journey, and you don't feel like you have to do it alone. I can say that's one thing that I've enjoyed is having community to talk about things with, to really navigate, to engage in the mindfulness of what it is I'm needing to do. And that's hence is why I show up on this channel, slapping paint on paper. It's all about getting joy in your life, all about it. And anything that I can do to help anybody on their journey of either you've lost a loved one or you're grieving over a marriage, a divorce, or whatever it is. Show up, share in the chat, and let us know how we can serve you. And if you're watching the replay and you're not subscribed to the channel and something along here has spoke to you, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that when I do go live outside of Mondays and Wednesdays, y'all can put that on your calendars, Mondays, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, because we're trying to grow this community. YouTube is seeming to be the place where I've landed, and I'm comfortable and I'm happy. And why? You get to choose whether you want to be a part of the community or not. So I do enjoy staying present in the moment, and it helps me not be overwhelmed with things that are going on in my life. So breathe and be blessed. God and art can make a difference. Oh my God, God and art definitely can make a difference. Yes. Okay, Sonia, I am grateful, grateful, grateful. So I got up today just for you. That's the way I always say when somebody comes and they give me a, yes, you helped me, then when I asked the Lord this morning, God, what do you want me to do today? Then he usually gives me an answer. So we're going to get off of here. I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to stay in the studio and I'm going to get some paint and some paper. I'll probably go live over in my Patreon because I need to. And excuse me, I'm going to decorate these books. These have turned from regular paper and turned into books. I was supposed to show y'all all of them, but I didn't. I'll leave them on the desk and show you Monday. Or maybe when I pop back on here. Who knows? Who knows? All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. And again, thank you for showing up. First of all, you showed up for you. And then I thank you for being here for me. Because without you, I'd be talking to myself on here. But y'all know I'll do it because you know what? Y'all could be team replay. And I'm still going to show up for you. Have a great day, guys.